had a preconceived thought that Diablo games were just scary, dark, and too hard. Thought it was more in line with like Demon Souls type of difficulty. After 5 hours of playing the game, I'm completely immersed. And if you're on the fence on whether or not you want to play Diablo 4, you want to give it a shot, this video may help you out. Before making my purchase for Diablo 4, I did a bunch of research on YouTube, watching a bunch of videos, seeing people's reactions, trying to get a feel for how the community is as well. And I noticed that the community seems to be divided or split in half. Some hardcore Diablo veterans calling for the game to have its difficulty increased, while casuals reign along the spectrum of it's just fine the way it is to it being a little too complex and difficult. So I wanted to make this video offering up a completely fresh and new perspective from a brand new player to the Diablo franchise. And I'm a player who just spent an immense amount of time playing Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And I imagine a lot of players may feel like I felt initially at first glance. Diablo 4 may seem like the polar opposite to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Diablo 4 seemingly dark and ominous. One thing I noticed during my first 5 hours of playing is that when a game's developers give the player understanding of their environment, enough information to take in about what their next task may be, suitable information about their weapons, how they function, their strength, when developers make navigating the menus easily accessible, the initial tone of the game just seems to completely change. Initially, I thought I was just going to be continuously anxious playing the game. Thought it was just going to be hack and slash. No skill, just mash the button. Boy, was I so wrong about Diablo 4. First off, it's truly an open world and it's massive with tons to do. And it seems like, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but in my initial impression, it seems like the developers understand how to reward players for their exploration efforts. And for me, that's huge. It shows that developers respect my time. Normally, when I find a game that developers show they respect my time, I end up investing more of my time. The character creation and customization is just dope. I felt like it was well put together, but keep in mind I am brand new to the series. Now, I really like open worlds, and I don't like having my hand held. I like having the freedom to come and go as I please. I love the idea of being able to use my discretion on where I want to spend my time. And my initial impression of Diablo is that they seem to do this really well. Immerse you in a truly open world, albeit there is a different type of viewpoint, especially for me coming from Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. But what I realize is that in the beginning, it seems weird with the top-down look, and oftentimes I would try to motion my right stick as if I could move the camera into position. And it took me probably within the first hour to realize that I was already immersed and used to the top-down perspective. That's how well done and well put together Diablo 4 is. At least that's how it worked out for me during my first play session. Now, I would consider myself, as of right now, a casual type of Diablo player. That's how I'm approaching the game, as a casual. And from the casual perspective, one thing that turns me off about particular games is when you go into the game and you're getting mowed down by your enemies. The same goes if it's too easy to beat your enemies. I feel the same way. It's not a fulfilling experience, especially if you can't even figure out why you're getting mowed down or what do you need to do to make an adjustment that'll prevent you from getting killed so easily by your enemies. And that helps bring us to the Diablo 4 skill tree. And oh my god, was it a complete change from the initial weapons that I started out with. And I started as a rogue. Some of the first skills that I put were twisting blades and the 5-shot arrow burst. And it completely changed the trajectory or scope of where I thought combat was going to be for me on Diablo 4. Initially thinking each battle was going to be a task. Adding my first 2 skills just completely changed all of that. Now the little enemies, they feel like little enemies. The bigger enemies feel like more of a challenge. And for me, this is huge because it gives room for me to explore freely. I hate feeling super anxious when I'm out there just trying to explore and find new things. Knowing that I have the weaponry that can handle most enemies I will come across during my exploration makes me feel more comfortable in my environment. And if you want to up the difficulty of your playthrough, you want more of a challenge, you can do that. Over the years, I have noticed that it's becoming a rare occasion to find developers or development team that just show in their development of the game that they are players first. They develop the game from the player's perspective. perspective, not from a creator's perspective. And that means you as a player, you experience better quality of life on the game. The reasoning is there and everything just seems logical. So just to wrap this up, my initial impression before playing the game was not so great. I didn't want to spend my free time in a perpetual state of anxiety. My impressions after playing Diablo 4 is that the developers got your back and they're going to give you all the tools you need to feel comfortable and make sure you have good pacing. I'm brand new here making content on Diablo 4. If you guys have thoughts, suggestions, or ideas for other viewers, please share in the comments. If you're new here and you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing. Drop a like on the video on your way out.